Might expect there have been multiple changes from the 11 that beat Australia 2-0 6 days ago. That includes Matt Turner getting his chance to play in between the sticks and a completely changed defensive lineup, including Miles Robinson, Anton Trusty and Joe Scally making up what looks to be a back three. Gio Reyna will play on the left side of them with his opportunity to impress today, along with McKennie, Ware, Bahalter and McKenzie making up the midfield four, and Pepe and Brendan Aronson up front. Pepe and McKenzie, only two survivors from that win over Australia, and it will be Weston McKennie who will be wearing the captain's armband for this evening's fixture. Turkey appear to be readying a 4-2-3-1. Urkan Çakır taking his place in goal, the back four of El Mali, Bardacci, Kabak and Zeki Çelik. In front of them it's Ozan Kuksu and Salih Özkan. Yildiz, Güler and Aydin, the attacking midfield three, and Barış Yilmaz leading the line, the Galatasaray striker in front of them. The last time these two teams met, it was a 2-1 victory to the Turks, with Güler one of those goal scorers at this game for the Real Madrid man. A number of those changes which Pochettino has made have of course been induced because of potential yellow cards. The likes of Chris Richards, Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson, all on yellow cards, and Poch very keen of course to ensure that they are not out of contention for the forthcoming matches. July the 1st, the USA will be up against what looks set to be Bosnia and Herzegovina. And he wants to make sure he has the side he needs at his disposal for that game, with this group all set up for him in what has the potential to be the most successful US team in the history of this competition, surpassing the likes of Bruce Arena and other big managers of the US international side. And we are now just moments away from getting us underway here at Los Angeles. The countdown goes down. 4, 3, 2 and 1, and off we go, folks. The USA will be playing in navy blue, going from right to left. They kick off and they use the fashionable tactic of booting the ball all the way down, intending it to go out of play. And Zeki Çelik actually comes over and stops it from going all the way out, and comes and then knocks it out for a throw to the US, which Reyna will take on the near side. And we mentioned Gio Reyna. This is a big opportunity for him really to show to the manager what he might be capable of and why he could be in contention. The US number 7 of Borussia Mönchengladbach, or the German team as you and I might know them. And here is Reyna linking up on that near side. Just the US starting to get their feet on the ball nice and early, finding their positions in that comfortable way. Coming down the right-hand side, trying to find a ball in towards the run of Pepe. Bounces out towards the edge of the box, but it still goes live. Chance to take a shot on, and it's deflected behind for a corner, and it's Reyna who got on the end of that one. Just a loose ball. Early nerves for Turkey. Haven't seen any of the ball in the opening minute. They have had the most shots out of any team at this World Cup, at this tournament. 62 they've taken. No goals to show for it though so far in this competition, in what is a disappointing run for them so far. Corner comes in from the far post by Berhalter, from the far side by Berhalter, only out to the middle of the box. Shot from the middle now, another opportunity for Pepe, and it's taken out behind for a corner by El Mali, and it's been dangerous tidings already for the Turkish team. In fact, it's Trusty who gets hold of the loose ball there, has the shot against Kaçır's goal. and isn't quite able to make it count on this occasion, but it's a dangerous start for the USA. They are looking in what is essentially a second string team, but they already are looking dangerous in these opening couple of minutes as Berhalter gets himself ready for the corner, whips it in towards the far post, held down, now there's a shot, oh, and the USA have opened their account early in this competition. It's Austin Trusty who gets there, and in 2 minutes being played, Trusty has got the ball in the back of the net. What an opportunity for the 27-year-old to score his first ever international goal. Berhalter plays the ball far to the back post. Trusty is in absolutely miles of space. You would not believe. Nobody has seen him just beyond the back post. He's got time to bring it down, take the shot with his left, boot it beyond the keeper. And with just 2 minutes gone, it's the USA 1, Turkey 0. And that is a fantastic start. Berhalter will, of course, be credited with the assist for his role in that one. But that is a really excellent start for Pochettino's team. And it looks like, actually, I was getting ready to tell you about what appears to be a slight tactical change. They do appear to have gone into more of a 4-2-3-1. Trusty is there in the centre-back position along with Robinson. And it appears Pepe is just playing out slightly in front with Reina just in behind him. Aronson, the Leeds man, on the left there of the attacking midfield, and Tim Weir on the other side there with McKennie and Berhalter holding the midfield behind them, and then the back four with Robinson and Trusty in defence, McKenzie on the left-hand side of defence, and Scally over there on the right. Well, what a start that is for the USA, the hosts, who are really having a fantastic tournament. It has to be said, they have enjoyed hosting this competition so much. They've won the group, and now they are on track for the perfect score, as good defence coming over there to get the ball back to Miles Robinson in defence, and then turn back to Matt Turner, also with the opportunity to impress today. He plays out to McKenzie. McKenzie goes over the top, and it's held up nicely there by Pepe, who's come back in, given away though on the second attempt, as this time Kabak tries to break his way through. He is dispossessed well though by Berhalter, the man already with the assist to his name. He plays the ball down the left-hand side to McKenzie. McKenzie plays it in the middle now towards Aronson. Aronson charging here towards the box, doing really well here, Brendan Aronson. Lovely layoff on his right-hand side. Then back to Aronson on the 1-2, a little bit behind him. That's just a bit too much behind Aronson. The ball on the way through there from Weir. It was a lovely move made really by Brendan Aronson, getting himself forward very well there. Another player who might have a point to prove to the manager this evening. Had a good season at Leeds United. Well respected there at the club in the north of England. And he will be looking again to show to the manager, hey, I'm here, it's a long tournament. And I am here to be stood up and be counted, as will a number of this US men's team wearing their stars and stripes this evening. It's Turkey really struggling here to get out of their own half at the moment. Played to the goal scorer Trusty. Trusty goes back to Robinson, and Robinson over to Scally. Scally turns the ball back towards goalkeeper Matt Turner, the 32-year-old now in the MLS, as a number of these players indeed are in the MLS, which you would think as well may be something that contributes to the success of the US in this tournament. A lot of domestic league success. And now here is Özkan. Özkan plays the ball over onto the left-hand far side. El Mali, who's gotten up on that side, is able to pick up the ball. Now played over the top, looking for the runner Yilmaz. Yilmaz not quite able to get hold of him, and he chases down the ball and is adjudged to have pushed Joe Scally to the ground as he tried to chase it down there. And another of the Mönchengladbach players wins the free kick. But still, that's the first time Yilmaz has really managed to find a way into the box there. Be looking to try and do that a little bit more as Turkey try and find their way back into this game. It's been a difficult start. They were the second team to be eliminated from this World Cup after Haiti. It really has not worked out for Vincenzo Montella's trip across the Atlantic this summer. And now here's an opportunity for Zeki Çelik, wearing the captain's armband, to come forward. He has the give and go with Aydin, but dispossessed there with a good tackle by Rayner. Rayner is then tripped to the ground, and that is surely a free kick, and might be a little bit early for the Algerian referee Mustafa Gerbel to reach to his card so far, but a little bit late on that challenge there. And it will be well within the American half. Free kick, which is taken by McKenzie, and he goes straight in towards the run of Trusty, who once again has got himself high up the pitch making those runs. But now Yilmaz getting forward, and the US looking a little bit vulnerable here at the back. In comes Barış Yilmaz. Yilmaz twists and turns and go, and then on the pass he puts the ball out of play, and that's a little bit disappointing, as both Brad Pitt and Ed Norton, you might remember them from a certain film about fighting, look on, nice cold beverage in hand, and enjoying this evening's festivities. And what an evening it is for the US supporters, watching, listening around the world, able to enjoy the fruits of Mauricio Pochettino's fantastic work with this team. Team, of course, not unknown to work with managers who were not born and raised on American soil, but Pochettino really is going down quite the flavour of the month, isn't he, with the US supporters at this time. As Turkey win themselves a quick free kick well within their own half on the far side, play the ball out onto the right hand side. Aydin plays it back in to Zeki Çelik, and now Güler on the give and go here. Güler trying to make his way through here. Gives it off to Yilmaz. Yilmaz back to Güler. Güler, will he be able to take the shot? Güler will run through. Goal! Güler scored! And Turkey finally have the goal they've been waiting for in this World Cup. It's a lovely flowing move between Yilmaz and Güler. And it's the Real Madrid man who scores the first goal in this competition for Turkey. And it's been a long time coming. But that will mean so much for them. The ignominy of potentially going home without scoring has now been removed, as Yilmaz and Güler link up. It's the second time he's scored against the United States of America in 2 consecutive games, and it's been 10 minutes and we've already had one goal per team. And although there is nothing to play for either of these two teams apart from demonstrating prowess and pride of the badge on one shirt, it has been an exciting, enjoyable start so far, with Arda Güler netting for Turkey. 10 minutes gone, Turkey 1, United States of America 1. This is a good game to be enjoyed, ladies and gents. And we do hope, as you are tuning in to our unofficial off-tube studio-based commentary of this evening's game, don't forget, of course, you can tune in wherever you are around the world. Your local TV broadcaster will, of course, be giving you the coverage of this game. I'm here, though, to tell you the story as best I possibly can. as now it's nice and open. Here's once again Selic down the right hand side, plays the ball into the middle towards Kursu. Kursu goes over onto the left hand side looking for the path of Yildiz, but he puts just a little bit too much on that and it goes out for a throw. Number of famous faces. You can always play bingo, can't you, at these games, especially when the hosts are playing. But now here's a lovely opportunity for McKennie to break down the right-hand side. McKennie coming at great pace, makes his way into the box. He's still going in. McKennie plays the ball back to Aronson. Aronson tries to take the shot. Ricochets had for the second attempt. And this one goes straight into the gloves of Shakir. He has to get down low to his right, but it's fairly close to the goalkeeper as Brendan Aronson takes the shot on the second attempt. His first attempt ricocheted into Bardacci. Second one, he does get it on target, but not really able to test the goalkeeper to the extent that he would have liked with that attempt. But this does now allow for an interesting next section of this game. Evenly poised at this time. Had Turkey failed to score, it would have been their first time since 2010 at an international tournament without scoring. Back then, they went 4 games without scoring. But remember, this is the team that finished third in football's biggest international tournament in 2002. And now here it's Aronson. Lovely ball through to Scally, who's made that run down on the right-hand side. Joe Scally with the ball back. Now the cross coming in across the face of goal, looking for Weir. Just a little bit too much on it. And Aydin is able to head it out for a throw here on the near side. Tries to link up with Pepe. On that throw with Trusty, in fact. Doesn't quite pick him out. And Turkey now have themselves their own throw on this near side. Yilmaz fighting for it up against Robinson. Robinson, the winner of that duel. In fact, earns a quick free kick in the process as well. McKennie with the ball on the halfway line. Plays it back to Berhalter. Berhalter goes over to Trusty. Men's team here for the US just comfortably playing the ball between them. Oh, but this time it is given away ever so slightly. And now here's another opportunity. The ball comes over the top for Yilmaz. It has to be headed away by McKenzie, as that was a warning sign for the Americans. They cannot be complacent. They've already conceded one. They cannot afford any complacency. McKenzie having to do a little bit of hurried defensive work just there. Now here's Robinson. He plays it to McKenzie in that centre of defence under a little bit of pressure. Just about managed to turn it to Trusty on the left-hand side, who plays over to Weir, who's also come over here on that left-hand side. Montella rather angry, believing that Turkey had won a free kick there, but instead Timothy Weir coming down through the left-hand side, turns and pivot backwards and then passes to Trusty. Trusty then to McKenzie. The US looking for that outlet down that left-hand side at the moment. They've been a little bit more dangerous, I would say, on that right-hand side. It's been more McKennie playing through to Aronson. But now we are just starting to see Timothy Weir joined Juventus in January 2026 for a end-of-season loan. Now played out to the edge of the box. Here is Reina. Reina to Weir on my left-hand side, but a little bit too much, I think, on that pass from Reina as Weir tries to chase it to keep it in, can't quite get on the end of it. and it will go out for a throw to the USA. Just a slightly overly weighted pass from Gio Reyna. Turkey play the ball towards the halfway line. McKenzie's able to get in there and head it away, and it comes out here to McKennie. McKennie is caught as he passes back to Scally. No foul is given as McKennie rather gingerly gets back up on his feet, and now here is Trusty, the goal scorer. Nice pass out onto the left to Weir. Trusty continued his run there. He was looking for the give and go. Weir didn't go for him, but that would have been a nice little opportunity if Weir had perhaps just lifted his head a little bit quicker to pick out the run of Trusty. Now McKennie plays over on the right in front of him to Reyna, who is doing well to control that space in the centre of midfield. Now passed out on that left-hand side to Austin Trusty. Trusty to Weir and back to McKenzie. Reyna twisting through. And then Berhalter is adjudged to have committed a foul. And actually is going to get a yellow card there. Sebastian Berhalter, so he has an assist and a yellow card to his name, the man who plays his football at the Vancouver Whitecaps. And I don't think, for the man who was born in England, in Sunderland, I believe, there can be too many complaints about that one. He's kept his foot, arriving late on Salih Özkan. He is going for the ball, but it's a late challenge, and it's a clear yellow card. Salih Özkan is going to be receiving some treatment. Now, I don't think they're going to have to look at this any further. It is Berhalter's first yellow card of this tournament. So it gives us another chance to look at Trusty's goal, where he just found himself in way too much space at the back post from Berhalter's corner. It's a good finish because the angle is quite tight there. And he certainly did very well to make the most of his opportunity when it arrived to him. And he was surrounded by his squad and bench as the US took the lead early on in this game. But then Güler got Turkey back into this game, linking up beautifully with Yilmaz. And so on the 20-minute mark, and you would have thought that pause could have been a moment for a hydration break. But we will be continuing. Perhaps the adverts weren't quite ready yet. As the ball is played over on the right-hand side, looking for Güler. But Robinson does really well to get in the way there. And instead, Turkey win themselves a throw right in front of the dugout. It's going to be taken by Güler. Güler picks up on the give and go with Yildiz and wins a free kick in that process, as well as Turkey edging closer once again to the US box. Couple of players standing over it. Güler is one of them. Ozan Korsu is the other. I would expect this to go to the Real Madrid man myself. It is in fact Güler indeed, and he takes it, plays the ball towards the touchline, and he's looking for the run of Ozan Korsu, and he just puts a little bit too much on that one, bit too much pace, and he goes straight behind for a goal kick, which Matt Turner, who really hasn't had too much to do apart from picking the ball out of his net during that hydration break. Sorry, during when Turkey scored, takes the goal kick. And now Aronson tries to get through on the left-hand side, but El Mali is there in front of him, makes the tackle and brings the ball over on the right-hand side. And here is a lovely opportunity for Turkey to come forward down that right-hand flank. Aydin gets hold of the ball, drives it towards the box, then plays it back to Güler. Güler tries to get hiding back on the 1-2, can't quite pick him out, and now Ricardo Pepe will try and clear from deep within the US half. He instead goes back to McKenzie. It's McKenzie who makes for clearance, and he clears long down the pitch to where Urgakan Çakır is waiting outside his box, dressed fully in green. And is there to be a second goal? Hydration break, you would have thought, is just a moment or two away from what has been a fast-paced and enjoyable first half so far, as the ball is played through to Yilmaz. He's caught by Miles Robinson and wins a free kick. And this time, the referee does have the ball in his hands, and he is now indicating to the players they can make their way to the dugout for the hydration break. So that'll give me an opportunity to tell you once again the story of this game so far, in which Austin Trusty put the hosts ahead in just the second minute of this game, netting home a Sebastian Berhalter corner. And it was US dominance for the opening stages of this game. They had a number of shots. They managed to get various touches in the opposition box early on especially. And they dominated momentum in those first stages of the game. But then, on the 10-minute mark, a lovely link-up play between Güler and Barış Yilmaz gave Güler the opportunity to score past Matt Turner, and he made fully the most of the opportunity that was afforded to him to score Turkey's first goal of this competition. They've taken over 60 shots now across 2.25 games in this year's tournament. But that is the first one that they managed to get in the back of the net. And if nothing else happens in today's game, that will help give a sense of pride. Something to know that they came for. And now, with still 20-odd minutes remaining of this first half, there's no reason to doubt that Turkey can't get themselves right back into this game. They're ready and on the pitch. The US team are still taking instructions from Pochettino. Not sure if he's got his laptop with him. And as you might expect, the overwhelming dominance of supporters here in California is, of course, those of the host. It's a wonderful stadium. The sun is still streaming in. If you are joining us from somewhere around the world, perhaps already in the early hours of Friday, well, it's still very much a lovely, balmy Thursday evening in California. Over on this side of the Atlantic, for football's biggest competition here this summer in 2026. We're getting so near now that elimination stage. We'll begin right away with Özkan. Given the ball by the Algerian referee. He plays to Kabak. Goes over on his left to Barachi. Now back to Kabak in that central defensive position. He plays the ball long, looking for the run of Yilmaz. Will Yilmaz be able to get past McKenzie here? McKenzie just about wins that duel. He puts it out for a throw. In fact, he wins the throw, McKenzie there. I, as Yilmaz, was convinced that had gone out for a throw. I think, actually, Yilmaz is adjudged to have just caught McKenzie there. And, in fact, it will be a free kick. At 21 years old, Güler is now Turkey's youngest ever scorer in this competition. So again, those stats which will allow Turkey to go home, presumably in the next coming days, with their heads held a little bit higher than they might have been before starting this game. As the US play the ball all the way back to Matt Turner. He plays out to Scally. Scally holds onto the ball perhaps a little bit longer there and allows a bit of pressure to be applied on him. He just about managed to get the ball back to Turner. Turner clears up the pitch as the ball bounces round in midfield, but McKennie just about managed to get hold of something there, passes to Berhalter. Now Berhalter once again in midfield. He plays that ball on the diagonal, looking for the run of Timothy Weah. Picks him out with a lovely pass there, Berhalter. Weah can't get past the Turkish block of Aydin on this occasion. August Aydin getting himself in the way nicely there. But now the US will try and come through once again with Aronson. He's beaten to it again and has to go backwards. Now Berhalter. McKennie plays a nice ball over the top, looking for the run of Joe Scally, who's come forward. Scally nods the ball on to Aronson. Aronson trying to keep the ball down on the far side, and he wins a corner in the process. That's good work there by Aronson, who has looked dangerous on that right-hand side. So now on that far side, the US will have, in fact, it's not a corner, it is a corner. Berhalter had the ball miles out of the corner area there, led me to believe that they'd been given a free kick. It is a corner. Berhalter just giving his instructions where he needs to have the ball. Berhalter now, who already set up one goal so far this competition, gets himself ready to whip the ball in, headed by McKennie. Now the ball goes loose and now falls open to McKenzie, and McKenzie is there to put the US back in front. Oh, he's not. It's not going to count. The flag's up, and it's going to be ruled out from what I can see. The flag is up, and I don't think there can be any doubt. Robinson is the first man to meet the corner. He heads forward. But from what I can see, looking at this replay, although there was almost a potential appeal for a handball against El Mali, but it will go back to a free kick. It's a fairly clear. There won't need to be any further looking at this one, unfortunately, for the US team. He is definitely offside there, McKenzie. As Turkey win themselves a throw in front of the dugouts. Throw goes along to Yilmaz, but it's cleared away by the would-be goal scorer McKenzie. McKennie tries to keep hold of the ball, but he loses out there to Güler. Güler plays a lovely ball out onto the left-hand side to Yildiz. Yildiz makes his way through. Now a lovely little give and go. Chance to get the ball into the centre, and this time Turkey have got their second goal. It's Ozan Korsu who is there to score. And moments after the US believed they had got themselves in front, this time it will surely count. On the half-hour mark, Turkey have gone in front and they lead for the first time this tournament. It's a first international goal for Korsu since March 2025 against Hungary. And as the pass is played in down that left-hand side from Yildiz, and it's a well-picked out, well-timed pass. Ozan Korsu is exactly where he needs to be, getting himself forward. And it's a third goal of this game. It's a second goal for Turkey this competition. And although the result doesn't matter for Pochettino's men, you wonder now, will he need to think about a couple of further changes? He has made 9 changes to his starting lineup from the last game. And of course, it's understandable with the group done and dusted. There's now Yildiz coming down that left-hand side. Once again, Yildiz with the ball. Back in front to Özcan. Now, back out to Yildiz. Yildiz trying to find a way through. Robinson just about managing to get in the way to step in and make the clearance, but not as far as he might have liked, as Çelik is able to pick up the ball here. Çelik plays the ball over onto that left-hand side to the goal scorer Korsu. Korsu does really well there to Nutmeg Bahalta. Still trying to make his way through, and I think he's adjudged to a push down. Joe Scally, as he tried to fight for the ball, just put a little bit too much of his body in it. But what a change this has been now. Even with all the adjustments made by Pochettino, I don't think too many people were predicting that Turkey would take charge of this game. And there's still plenty of time, of course, left on the clock. And now here's once again Güler comes through, lovely ball through into the middle, tries to find the pass of Yilmaz. It's a lovely little give and go by Aydin, trying to find Yilmaz in front of him. Just played a little bit too much on the pass, and it allowed the ball to go through harmlessly to Turner. But Turkey are really looking lively here. The US had all the momentum in the first 10 minutes or so of this game. But since Turkey scored their equaliser, it evened things up very nicely. And really, it's been Turkey in charge of proceedings for a decent chunk of this second half. Just tell you those stats again. Turkey have scored 2 goals from 2 shots against the United States after failing to find the back of the net with 62 shots in the first 2 group stages of this year's competition. So they really have managed to turn things around quite well so far. As now, Robinson, now McKennie comes forward. McKennie tries to put the cross over to Weir. I think it should be cleared away comfortably by Aydin, but he only finds Weir. Weir plays the ball back towards Trusty. Trusty goes back to Mackenzie. Referee, however, has blown his whistle for an infringement earlier on. And the ball is given back to the Turkish goalkeeper, Çakir. Gürkan Çakir passes the ball over to Barachi, and he then is returned the ball and has to clear long under quite a lot of pressure, but he almost managed to pick up Yilmaz with some good distribution there. Now Yildiz challenges for it against Joe Scally. Joe Scally managed to head away, but only as far as El Mali. El Mali knocks the ball on to Güler. Back to El Mali once again, and this time he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Now Barachi. Barachi plays the ball through, looking for the run of Yilmaz. Robinson just about managed to get something on top of that to try and divert it out the way. Remember, this is a relatively makeshift US defence doing what they can to stand firm as Turkey continue to come strong here. They play the ball out onto the right-hand side to Aydin. Aydin with a lovely ball forward to Zeki Çelik. Çelik with the ball across the face of the box. It's headed away, but only out towards Yildiz on the edge now. Now Güler working through. Trying to pass through him. Güler still picks up a loose ball. Can't quite pick up Yilmaz with the pass. The US are able to clear to the halfway line. Turkey continue to ask questions. We've got just over 5 minutes of the first half to go from the SoFi in Los Angeles, home of the Rams. This time, after just singing his praises for his distribution, Shakir clears the ball straight out of play and out for a throw in front of the dugouts for the US. Robinson receives the ball from the throw, slowly moves up to the halfway line and then passes behind him to McKenzie. Now Robinson once again just quite comfortable for the meantime to pass between him and McKenzie. This time McKenzie goes over on the right hand side to Scally. Scally cuts back to McKenzie. Now to Robinson. Robinson to Rayner, who's just there right on the centre half. US not in that much of a rush, despite the fact they are now a goal behind, but it is a relatively insignificant goal in the grand scheme of things. So no need for them to worry too much, as Berhalter is almost dispossessed there, but in fact he wins a free kick. He came in a couple of heavy challenges coming in there on Sebastian Berhalter, and it looked like it was the second one, which caused a bit of pain to the 25-year-old, but he's now back up on his feet. So McKenzie with the ball on the halfway. Plays the 1-2 with McKennie. McKennie goes over the top looking for the run of Weir. Weir is able to bring it down off his shoulder. Weir with the ball across, but it goes straight to Urgakan Shakir. It's a nice bit of creative play down that left-hand side, and Aronson was in the box there, but just not able to find him with the pass, Timothy Weir. But if the US are going to come back into this game, that is the sort of thing they need to be doing. That nice ball down that left-hand channel or down the right-hand channel, using the pace, using the overlaps, and getting themselves back in a strong position in this game once again. And now a free kick is awarded to Turkey, a fair way inside their attacking half. Believe Aronson to be adjudged to be the guilty party here. Try and get a better look for you to tell you exactly what the foul was given for. Certainly not in a shooting position, as Güler actually walks away from the ball, and it's Korsu who will be taking this one. Korsu whips towards the far post. Yilmaz tries to get hold of it, then flicks the ball back inside towards Barachi. And Barachi believes he's won himself a corner there, off the head from his Galatasaray teammate. And I don't know if he's making a claim for handball or a corner, because it certainly comes off a US player before going out of play. It will be a corner to Turkey with 40 minutes gone. Güler, the 21-year-old, over to take it. He plays it to the corner of the box, where Yildiz tries to play it back to him, and this time Güler has gone offside. And a bit of an opportunity missed there for Turkey to do something a little bit more to test the goalkeeper. This time the US, with their throw, go back to Turner. And now Berhalter starts to run the ball out from the back. Nice twisting move to bring in Scally over on the right. He plays into Aronson. Back to Scally, who has to go backwards under some pressure from the arriving Yildiz. Turns back to McKenzie. McKenzie plays the ball through the centre. And that's a lovely turn by Pepe, whose name I haven't said too much so far in this first half, but now he's helping a lovely move from the US to get forward. Scally on the right, and Scally tries to make the cross, and it's put behind by El Mali, and it'll be another corner for the USA. It's a lovely turn by Pepe there. Corner is played short. This time it goes across, looking for Rayner, but Turkey able to get themselves out of the box, and now they're coming as the ball is played, looking for Yilmaz, who just loses his balance as he tries to make the run forward there. Barış Yilmaz picking up a pass from Güler, Those two really have been a big part of the Turkish attack when they have got forward. Now they play in the centre to McKennie. It's time Berhalter. Berhalter links with his midfield partner McKennie. It's time played forward to Reyna. Reyna back to Aronson. Now here's Reyna again. Reyna making his way towards the box. Reyna still going here, fighting his way through, but he can't get past the two Turkish defenders who surround him. And now Turkey will try and come forward. Yildiz running forward on that left-hand side. He's got Yilmaz in front of him. Güler wants it as well, but Yildiz is still going here in towards the box, plays it in, and his cross, I think it was a cross he was going for in the end there, is put behind for a corner by Miles Robinson, the man who plays for Cincinnati, part of this changing US defense in today's game. Corner comes from the far side. Cleared at the near post, but only back out to Yildiz. Now to Yilmaz. Finds a way, and there's an offside flag there in the bill. I think it's Zeki Çelik who went offside there. Just see what happens. There's a lot of players fighting for it, but there is a flag up. So the US will have the free kick, and for the moment any possible danger from that seems to have abated, as the US are just starting to look a little bit dangerous again. They dropped off a while, but now they're beginning once again to show the prowess they were demonstrating at the start of this game, particularly in those first 10 minutes or so when they did get that goal. And here is Timothy Weah. They have now scored in every game in the opening 15 minutes in this competition. Not a bad statistic at all. Timothy Weah driving the ball down towards the edge of the box on the left-hand side, struggling to keep it in against Aydin. Does manage to win himself a throw, though, right by that corner flag. Austin Trusty comes over to take it. Trusty throws the ball in towards the box, looking for Pepe. Cleared away for now, but only as far as Robinson. Robinson heads forward to McKennie. McKennie with a shot from distance. It's saved just about by Shakir, who parries it out, diving down low to his right-hand side. And Kabak comes in to help him do the rest of the clearance. But McKennie there saw the whiff of an opportunity and went for it from a long way out. And in that meantime there's a coming together between Berhalter and Güler. And the Algerian referee decides that should be a free kick to the USA. It's a good shot. It bends away from the keeper there. It's fairly easy for him to see. It's got that bit of a bend to it. Shakir might think that he should have got hold of that first time though to not parry it out. But now there is a free kick to think about. There's going to be 6 minutes of additional time added on as we've got to the end of the 45. Reyna and Berhalter are the two men over this free kick. It's played quickly to Weah. Back to Berhalter. Berhalter puts the ball over the top in towards the box, and it's headed behind. Looked like it was going to be headed behind for a corner, but I think it actually comes off McKennie. Ooh, well, looking at the replay there, it appears to be Balaci who is the last man to make contact with the ball there. But the referee does confirm a goal kick. Urghan Shakir plays the ball through the middle. Barış Yilmaz is the target there. Scally picks up the ball though to make the clearance. He goes back to Robinson. Robinson's pass though is given away, and now this is a great opportunity for Turkey to get themselves forward. Çelik comes forward, plays the ball back to Aydin. Aydin trying to find a way to get the ball through. He loses out, but the loose ball bounces out to Korsu. Now to Yilmaz. Yilmaz heads, but it's straight in towards Turner's gloves. The US now coming back out immediately from Turner's clearance. McKennie He's dispossessed, but the ball goes straight out to Scally. And Scally wins that throw on the far side. If there is to be a goal in these final 6 minutes before the half-time break, I'd be inclined to think it might be for the USA. Berhalter plays the ball in the middle. Reina now. He's got Pepe there in the centre of the box. He goes to Aronson instead. Bounces back out to Reina. Reina tries to drive the ball forward. Can't keep it in play. Oh, he does manage to win the corner though. Against Balaci. Galatasaray man. One of a few, of course, in this Turkish team. Has to give away the corner there. Berhalter to take it from the far side. This isn't the side where the US got their goal from, but it's a lovely ball from Berhalter in the middle. Headed forward by Trusty. And just a little bit over the top of the crossbar. As Trusty wanted to get his second goal in the game. Gets up just a little bit too early there, Austin Trusty. And just means by the time he gets his head on the ball, he's a bit too high on it. With 3 of those 6 minutes now having been played. Turkey trying to come out here on the right-hand side. Aydin running the ball through, plays for cross towards the far post, but Matt Turner gets up well there. Makes the catch in the air, and that was good decisive goalkeeping from the 32-year-old of New England. Has been on loan at Lyon during the last season, and now another ball to Weir. Weir plays it really well with his left-hand foot, but then on the second attempt, Kabak is able to get in front of him, and I think Weir would have been offside there as well. But we've seen the US do this a few times. Those diagonal runs. Oh, it's very, very tight looking at the replay there. But those diagonal runs looking for the run in that left-hand flank for Timothy Weir. That one he was adjudged to be offside anyway. But the US continue to ask questions when they play that pass towards the run of Timothy Weir. For Aronson, they seem to be going along the ground a little bit more. Yildiz now fighting for it against Scally. Yildiz turns the ball back to El Mali. El Mali passes to Kabak. Kabak plays the ball back to Zeki Selik. Selik, the captain, goes back to his goalkeeper. Shakir passes the ball out on the left-hand side looking for Yildiz. Yildiz can't win that battle, and then McKennie picks up the ball. McKennie tries to play forward to Pepe. Pepe can't quite get past Balaci. And Turkey managed to get clear for now, but the US look to come again here. Down this right-hand side, McKennie with the ball across the box. I don't know if he was going for the centre there for Reina or Pepe in the centre, but he slightly overhit it, but didn't quite get it far enough for Weir, which means Turkey clear, but they put the ball straight out for a throw just in front of the dugouts. With just 1 minute now remaining of the minimum 6 which have been added to this first half, with Turkey currently leading by 2-1, having scored their first 2 goals in this competition. So far they will be going home no matter what happens, and the US will be topping the group no matter what happens in the next 45 minutes when we come back for the second half. But still an interesting narrative which has developed here as the ball is played over top towards Aronson down that right hand side. He picks up the ball just before the corner flag, but he turns it into Scally, who's got forward really well here. Scally now with the cross towards the far post looking for Reina. Aydin is able to head away before Reina can get hold of it. That allows the US to win a throw, which will surely be the last meaningful action of the half. No, it won't. Gio Reyna won't be allowed to take that throw because Mustafa Gurbel has blown his whistle. And at the end of the first half, the US went up in the second minute with a goal by Austin Trusty. Turkey got themselves back in through Güler, and then on the 30-minute mark, Özcan Korsu netted home to put Turkey in front with just their second goal of this competition. At half-time, here in California, it's Turkey 2, USA 1, and we'll be back. We get ourselves ready. And indeed, we are off. Turkey now going right to left as Urgahan Çakir plays the ball out long. Way by Robinson. And the US look to start this second half as brightly as they did the first half, and they really did take control of proceedings in the first 10 minutes of the game before Turkey found themselves getting right back into this game, and the crowd making their way back into the stadium as Weir tries to pick up the ball on the left hand side just beyond the halfway line. It goes a little bit beyond him. No changes at all to either side, so the US continue in what is shaping up to be a 4-3-3. Trusty, McKenzie, Robinson and Scally, the back four. Reina, Verhalten and McKennie, in front of them, and then the front three of Weir, Pepe and Aronson. As now those front three coming forward. Here is Aronson driving forward really well. There's a push in the back. That's surely a free kick against Aronson. Referee says no, and players allowed to continue as Reina picks out the ball, plays out to Weir on the left hand side of the box. Weir drives the ball in, he's getting towards touchline, tries to cross it in towards centre. He was looking for Reina, couldn't quite pick him out there with the pass, and Badaci is able to make the clearance. Turkey now trying to come out of their own area, but they can't get past. Here's Reina coming forward once again, passes off on the left hand side to Weir. Weir fighting for it against Aydin, and Aydin just about manages to put the ball out for a throw on the far side. I was telling you the front three of the Euros was Weir, Pepe and Aronson, and Turkey continue with what is pretty much a 3-4-2-1. The back three of Badaci, Kabak and Zeki Çelik sit in front of Çakir's goal. El Mali, Korsu, the scorer of the second goal, Özkan and Aydin. As here come the US once again. Timothy Weir trying to get down on the left hand side, but Aydin gets there in front of him, puts it out for a throw on the far side. Güler and Yildiz in the attacking midfield positions, and Barış Yilmaz in front of those two. And now the ball played through to Aronson. Aronson comes across on the left hand side, tries to play a cross in, and Çelik, the captain, is able just to get in his way there, and it goes out for a corner, the first corner of the second half. Verhalten, who is taking full responsibilities of the set pieces this evening as the lights come on in Los Angeles. Verhalten plays the ball this time across the box looking for Trusty. He doesn't quite find it, but it comes up to Reina on the edge of the box. He might take a shot in. Instead tries to find McKenzie with the through ball. Çakir has to punch it away rather haphazardly, and it goes out for a throw on the far side. To get something on it there, Urgahan Çakir, not his most convincing display of goalkeeping, but enough at least to temporarily clear the danger from the Galatasaray man. Throw comes in from McKenzie. There's a push in the box, but play continues. The ball comes out to the edge of the box. Oh, it's in, and the US have levelled up. It's Verhalten who takes the shot on the edge of the box, and with the ball in his arm, Sebastian Verhalten triumphantly takes the ball and plonks it back on the centre circle. He wants it to get going right away. It's another goal, really coming from a corner which Turkey didn't deal with. The throw which proceeded from it, Turkey couldn't clear their lines. The ball comes out to Verhalten, who takes it on the bounce on his right foot. It's a lovely shot through a sea of bodies. Çakir, the goalkeeper, got close to it and maybe a tad disappointed. It's a first goal in this competition for Verhalten. Last time he scored was in a friendly against Uruguay, which the US went on to win 5-1. That was back in November last year. It's his first goal in an international competition as well. So an assist and a goal for Verhalten. And once again, I mean, what does it say about this US team? This is pretty much exactly the time they scored in the first half. It's the 49-minute mark, so we've had 4 minutes of this second half. They scored after 2 minutes, of the first half. They really know how to come out of the blocks quickly and powerfully now. Pochettino might need to think a little bit about making sure they can sustain that over the course of the 90. But they have, throughout this tournament, consistently been a threat with those early stages of the game. As the ball is played long, looking for the run of Yildiz down the left-hand side by Kabak with the pass. Bit too much on it though from Kabak. Goes out for a throw, which the US take. Long to Mackenzie. Mackenzie plays in front of him. The US win themselves a throw on that far side. Trusty, scorer of that first goal, there to take it. Trusty throws long down that left-hand side. McKennie nods it on, and Reina further heads on. Pepe trying to get hold of that head. He can't win that battle against Badaci. And now Özkan will try and get the movement going forward for the Turkish team. El Mali plays it back to Badaci. Badaci to the goalkeeper. Shakir goes long over that right hand side, but Trusty is able to head it forward to Timothy Ware. Ware can't quite hold that one up, but the ball does go loose to Bahalta. Bahalta plays it through the middle to Aronson. Aronson looking for Pepe with the run here. Pepe being held off though by Kabak, and that prevents Ricardo Pepe from getting through. A nice ball that was played forward through the middle. I said that Pepe wasn't quite as dangerous as I would have liked to have seen in that first half, but he's looked better already in the second half as the ball goes along through that right hand side, looking for the run of Aydin, just a little bit too much. Allows Austin Trusty to get there and put it out for a throw before Aydin can get in and cause problems. Turkey take the ball back to the halfway line. We've seen the US Bahalta score from the edge of the box. We've seen the US take a few shots from distance. There was the one by McKennie earlier on in this game, and there has been goals taken from distance where you thought at first sight the keeper perhaps could have done slightly better, as Weir is adjusted to go offside down the left hand flank, and you wonder whether that's maybe just something to do with this ball, the way it moves around here. Now the Turkish team try to come out from the back. Shakir plays to Badaci. Badaci plays in front of him to El Mali. El Mali now trying to release Yildiz. Yildiz is forced to go backwards and backwards, and then he's brought down by Aronson and wins a free kick well within their own half. So it looks to go long on that right hand side to Güler. Güler manages to head back to Selik. Selik plays back to his keeper, Urgan Çakir. Long ball through the centre. Yilmaz will try and hold it up. Mackenzie just about able to deal with it, and then a free kick is given to Sebastian Bahalta on the halfway line. Referee quick to check he's okay and get him back on his feet. Bahalta possibly the man of the match performance at the moment. 1 assist, 1 goal, and really been everywhere across that midfield for the US, who now have 7 points in this group as they continue to go in search of the perfect score of 9. Regardless, it's a good game to finish this group, and a testament to particularly the US team, who many a year or some year ago you perhaps didn't think of as a superpower in the sport, but they are certainly starting to assert themselves more and more as McKennie's pass is misplaced. But Yels Yilmaz to dribble the ball forward. Now he passes, looking for the run here of Yildiz. Robinson tries to get in front. Robinson's pass was almost a bit too short, but it just about goes back to Matt Turner, who's able to clear before Yildiz continues his run, the Juventus man. Now Weir. A little bit of pressure on the left-hand side, passes back to Trusty. Goes back to the goalkeeper, Matt Turner. Corner's clearance, looking long, but it's straight to Kabak, who has plenty of time to turn the ball back to his goalkeeper. Çakir's clearance looking in that right-hand side for Güler. Chests it back to Aydin. Now Güler once again, scorer of the first goal, but there's an offside. Vink against August Aydin, which means the US will have the free kick, and they play over onto the right-hand side to Scally. Now back into the middle to Berhalter. Mackenzie dribbles the ball forward, then passes in to Berhalter into that central position. He knocks forward to Aronson. Aronson coming forward well here. Passes back to Reyna, who's just closed in and behind. Reyna goes straight back to Aronson. Aronson, another player who has impressed tonight, it has to be said. One of many who will be asking questions of the manager, at least to show that they will be worthy of minutes. What has been a solid performance by both sides, it has to be said. Very, very enjoyable match to be watching. Now here is McKennie. Both teams linking up well throughout this game, and both teams really intending to exit this group stage, or to end this group stage with a good quality performance. Here's Scally forward on the right hand side, passes back to McKennie, but Scally is offside. And a certain Captain America is now receiving instructions. He's embraced by the manager, and he is there receiving instructions, and this will be something the fans will be excited to see. Pulisic is such an important player on this team. Seeing him injured early in the tournament was a concern, but now to have him back, the talismanic figure, is huge, as Yilmaz wins a free kick on the halfway line, just coming together there with Berhalter. And there he is, the number 10 is now ready to make his way onto the pitch. It's Timothy Weah who is going to make his way off, who has impressed this evening. He's got down well on the left-hand side. The man on loan from Marseille gets a hug from the manager. And you imagine that Pulisic is going to slot into that left-hand position as well, taking up the space in that left-hand wing, and certainly one that'll be great to see. Such an important player back on the pitch for the man from AC Milan. And all being well, you imagine he would be back in the starting lineup for the elimination games. As now a ball is played through here to Yilmaz. Good defending there by Robinson to get in the way though, get his body big in front of Yilmaz and put it out for a throw. He even gets a bit of a nod of approval from Yilmaz for that defensive work there. It's very impressive indeed, as Güler chests the ball forward, this time back to Aydin. Now back to Kabak. Balaci. Oh, that's a nice pass, played along the right-hand side to Aydin. Now to Güler. Aydin continued his run forward. Güler didn't go for it. Instead, passes back to Selik. Selik goes over onto that left-hand side to El Mali. El Mali knocks the ball in front of him to Yildiz. Yildiz plays the ball into the centre to Kotsu. Now El Mali getting down the left-hand side once again. This could be dangerous here for Turkey. El Mali with the cross, but it's straight to Matt Turner, who is there to comfortably make the catch in the right position. And now Reyna receives the ball, dribbles the ball forward, and here is Christian Pulisic running forward at pace. Plays to Aronson in front of him. This time nodded over the top. Pepe will try and chase it down. I think Pepe might have been offside there. But Pulisic already showing what he's capable of. As he tries to chase down that ball, chests it down well. He was onside, and in fact it's Zeki Selik who does extremely well to get in front of Pulisic and put it behind for a corner. I thought on first sight that Pulisic would have been offside. In fact, it was a very well-timed run by the 27-year-old. Corner comes towards the back post. Trusty gets his head on it at that back post, but this time he has a Yilmaz all over him because he was in exactly that same position there, Austin Trusty, where he scored the opening goal in this game from. As the clearance goes long, Yilmaz tries to control it, but he just knocks it a bit too far and goes out for a throw to the USA. They play the ball across the defence. McKenzie taking charge here of running the ball out slowly but assuredly towards the halfway line. Plays it over to Robinson. Robinson continues up to the halfway line and passes to Joe Scally. Scally back to Robinson, in fact a little bit behind Robinson. And Robinson has to pass just under a little bit of pressure here. This time they do find space out on the left-hand side, looking for Pulisic, and Pulisic wins that throw on the far side, which he gets ready to take quickly, throws to Reina. Back to Robinson, and Robinson goes back to Matt Turner in his bright yellow jersey and shorts. He goes on the right-hand side to Scally. Scally plays to Bahalta, to Aronson now. Aronson plays to Bahalta. Bahalta with a lovely pass towards the run of Pulisic. Pulisic charges his run beautifully. Pulisic in towards the box. He's going to shoot here. Pulisic still going. Pulisic with a shot straight towards the goalkeeper. And then Aronson on the second attempt. But Aronson can't direct his effort on target. And Pulisic, he's only been on the pitch for a couple of minutes, but he is already bringing so much. But mind you, that was a lovely pass from Bahalta. Aronson will be mighty disappointed he didn't do more. He really should have. He had time to set himself up when the ball came out to him after Shakir made the save. But it's a beautiful pass from Bahalta, who continues to impress and say to Mauricio Pochettino, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready, sir. And then Pulisic as well with his pace down that left-hand side. All of a sudden, it's got a little bit trickier for Aydin and Selik, it has to be said, who are covering that area. Reina now. Passes back to Robinson, just in front of the halfway line. Robinson goes over to Trusty. Trusty now to Pulisic, coming once again on this left-hand side. Aydin trying to stand in front of him, so he passes back to Trusty. This time to Robinson in the centre. Robinson knocks forward to Bahalta. Now over to Scally forward on this right-hand side. Scally with a cross into the centre. A chance there to flick it forward. Urka Kanchakid just about gets something onto it. Back into the centre. McKennie tries to head it towards goal. And everybody is doing what they can to try and get the ball towards the goal. And they couldn't make it stick. The US team, they do win themselves a corner, which they tried to take quickly. But the referee tells them to wait because Shakir is down. He athletically flung himself across after Pulisic was the first one to get hold of it. He just about got something to tip it onto the box as he flings himself across. The US so close to going ahead there, as they continue to look so much more dangerous since Christian Pulisic has come on. Now, there were questions being asked when they introduced Pulisic. Was that a good decision? Especially bearing in mind injury concerns and the limited significance in the grand scheme of things of this game. But he is really adding something special since coming on. The US were already looking good. This has always been a flowing and enjoyable match, enjoyed by hundreds of thousands of people all around the world, but especially the ecstatic and excited US fans at this time. So far, looks like it has been a good decision, as long as he stays injury-free now, of course. The US will be in that round of 32 on the 1st of July. It's not too far away now. Just under a week. Presume it's going to be against Bosnia and Herzegovina. As Bahalta, such a key figure in today's game. Now he will take the corner. Comes in towards the centre. McKennie heads it. And it's just out beyond the far post and out harmlessly for a goal kick. Just watching that Shakir save again. It's hard to tell if he even got something on it, but it's the slightest bit of fingertips. But he gets on it to prevent Pulisic from putting the US in front and just about flicks it onto the bar. Now here's Yildiz for Turkey. Yildiz driving down, lovely little give and go on the left hand side, but the cross which came in from El Mali wasn't met by anybody. It's a lovely give and go between Yildiz and El Mali coming down that left hand side, but somehow El Mali's cross didn't meet any Turkish player in the box, and that could have very easily been Turkey once again in front. Not far to the 70-minute mark now. We haven't had everybody's favourite hydration break of this second half so far. So Mali lines up the throw on the near side. It's well intercepted. Aronson will fight for it. Wins a free kick as well there, Brendan Aronson, which the Turkish players are none too happy about. Does have a very commanding presence of a referee. Certainly a no-nonsense figure, and he does now instruct the players to head off for the drinks break, where, with just over 20 minutes or so to play, plus time which will be added on, especially as a result of this break, we are currently poised at parity. It's Turkey 2, USA 2. And I can tell you as well that Paraguay versus Australia remains goalless at this stage. It's been Australia dominating possession and with the higher XG and number of shots. They've had 9 shots compared to Paraguay's 4, and certainly more touches in the opposition box there as well. But that game is goalless. So, just to recap, as things currently stand, the USA are top of the group, and that won't be changed regardless of any results today. They currently have 7 points. Australia and Paraguay even on 4 points, but it is Australia who have the goal difference advantage, so they will go through with the automatic qualifications to the round of 32 as things currently stand. Paraguay will be in a reasonably good position. As things stand, Paraguay will be in 4th place in the best 3rd place teams, although Croatia, Algeria may still have something to say about that. But 4th place as things currently stand for Paraguay. Turkey, as we know, just playing for the pride of their badge, but they have certainly done that today. They have no doubt about it. Turkey have shown up today. They've scored twice despite so many attempts, so many shots in the 2 games prior to this without managing to find the net. They have done that today. They have done well. They've played good, attacking, flowing football, and you have to give full credit to Vincenzo Montella's team for taking this game and making it difficult for the hosts. It's tricky psychologically as we just get this panoramic view of the stadium during this time. It really is so impressive. It is tricky playing when you know there's nothing to play for, especially in front of a euphoric home crowd full of local celebrities. We've seen Brad Pitt, we've seen Will Ferrell, we've seen Owen Wilson, seen all sorts of celebrities in the crowd. And they've had to go out there this evening and get it done, and they have so far. 2-2 then, as we get resumed for the final part of this Group D finale. Turkey 2, USA 2, as the Americans come forward once again, trying to nod the ball forward to Pepe. Bahalta fighting for it. He's judged to have fouled Güler. Free kick taken quickly. Yilmaz might be able to get on the end of it. Turner is outside of his box. It ricochets off Yilmaz, and now it's a race between Turner and Yilmaz, and Turner does well to win that race, manages to smother the ball before Yilmaz can get there. And Yilmaz, who is an extremely gracious player, it has to be said. The second time I've just seen him give a tap on the back of an opposition player just to say well done, and he did there just now to Matt Turner, who raced to get the ball, smothered it before Yilmaz could, and then just gets a very sort of gentle tap on the back from Yilmaz, and it's quite clearly just saying well done, and I like that a lot. Aronson now arriving on the edge of the box. He twists inside of the box. He just slightly slips to his frustration, and Aronson has looked a little bit more frustrated in this second half. He was very good and lively in the first half, but that chance he squandered, unfortunately, a few minutes ago, just hasn't quite worked out the way he would have liked, as El Mali plays the ball into the centre to Kortsu. Kortsu now to Yildiz, down that left-hand channel. Yildiz coming in towards the box here. Yildiz turning really well. Yildiz with the shot, and it's just beyond the far post of Matt Turner. And that is not a bad attempt whatsoever from Kenan Yildiz, the Juventus player. He didn't do badly there at all, and that is just nice to see from the man born in Germany, Turkish citizen, and nearly able, the 21-year-old, to add to his team's tally this evening, as Pepe fights for it there against Kortsu. Kabak able to clear quickly to Yildiz, well, pass quickly to Yildiz. Yildiz then passes long on the right-hand side to Aydin. No changes so far to any of the Turkish players, incidentally, as we've gone past the 72-minute mark, as Yilmaz fights for it against McKenzie. McKenzie managed to make the clearance. Goes back to Selic, passes back to his keeper. Did make a very good save shortly before the hydration break. Now El Mali. El Mali plays the ball in towards Kortsu, the scorer of the Turkish second goal. Yilmaz tried to play the ball back towards Selic. Selic just about manages to keep the ball in play. Good work there by Zeki Selic. The Roma right back, his contract ends this month from the Italian club, so we'll wait to see what moves he'll be taking now that he will be able to focus once again on his club career. What move he might be making next. These are, as everybody knows, expensive tickets for this tournament, but they've been given quite a show. The ticket owners today, it really has to be said, it's been a very, very enjoyable evening in California. Trusty now on the left-hand side. Can't get past August Aydin, who just allows the ball to ricochet off his body and out for a throw to the US. On that left-hand far side, deep inside their own half, Trusty throws long down that left-hand channel. It's headed away by El Mali, and out for a throw once again to the US. Bahalta hands the ball over to Trusty, who really does have that long throw, especially in the absence of Chris Richards. Would otherwise be the long throw specialist. So this time he throws it short, then heads the second ball. Aronson trying to get forward, but it's cleared away by Selic for now. Gio Reyna. So now on the left-hand side here to Pulisic. Here is where the danger could lie for the US to get themselves in front. Pulisic plays into Aronson. Aronson running forward now, doing really well. Then he plays the ball off to Scally. Scally, who's arrived onto the edge of the box. Scally knocks forward to McKennie. McKennie back to Scally. Scally with the ball in towards the centre, but it evades everybody in the US team. And Kabak puts it out for a throw to ensure no further danger. And that attack rather broke down a little bit for the US there. You feel that this third goal is coming, but it's hard to tell right now from where exactly it is coming. Both teams certainly have the possibility of scoring, and I tend to believe as well, if one team scores, the other one might just do the same as well. McKennie puts the ball forward here to Scally. Scally fighting for it against Badazzi, and Badazzi wins the battle but concedes the corner. It's warm evening under the lights in California. Bahalta to take the corner in front of the fans. Rolls the ball around in his hands, and in the meantime there will be a change, and it is Gio Reyna who is coming off, and I think he's done okay this evening, Reyna, without possibly as much as he would have liked to really show to the manager about being taken into consideration for future games. And the other one coming off is Brendan Aronson, another one possibly sort of, you would rate them both at a very similar level, to be honest. They've worked hard. And also Joe Scally, so 3 coming off here for the USA. Aronson, Reyna and Scally. Scally, who's also worked very hard this evening. I don't know if they will have convinced their manager they're worthy of starting lineups moving forward, but certainly worthy of minutes, it has to be said. The ball outside of it. Oh, Pulisic with the shot, and he whips it in there from the edge of the box, Pulisic, and it's just outside the post. Almost out of nowhere, he takes it from the right-hand side onto his left foot, and he's been allowed far too much time there, Christian Pulisic. It's a lovely, lovely shot. Sort of a similarity to where Mbappe scored his first goal against Iraq the other night. Just to confirm those changes for you, Alex Freeman is on for Joe Scally. Making his first appearance at this tournament as Pepe tries to fight for it now. Alex Zendejas comes on for Aronson, and Sergino Dest comes on for Reyna. So just see how they fit in. Zendejas will be an immediate replacement for Aronson in that right wing position. Alex Freeman will remain to see where he's going to fit in. Will he drop into that more defensive role on the right back, or will Dest take up the right back responsibilities? Both are defenders, both Freeman and Dest. So it appears to be a fairly defence-minded change by Pochettino here. Well, we'll see maybe if he shifts the players around tactically at all. As Balachi plays the ball with his keeper. Shakir now plays it out onto the right-hand side to Selic. Selic in front of him to Yilmaz, who's dropped back quite a way. And Yilmaz now coming through on the right-hand side, running at pace towards the centre. Puts the ball in the centre, but it's headed out for now. But now Güler picks up the ball. Now here's Yildiz. Yildiz coming towards the left on the far side. Yildiz with the cross, but it's comfortably into the gloves of Matt Turner, who quickly throws the ball out far on that left-hand side to Pulisic. Pulisic turns the ball behind him to Bahalta, but Bahalta is wrestled off the ball here, and here's another chance for Turkey to get forward. Güler now in through the centre, plays the ball in front of him to Yildiz. Now back to Koksu. This time over to Yildiz once again. Now Yilmaz just on the corner of the box on the right-hand side. Nobody taking the shot from distance from Turkey, but instead go back to Kabak. Kabak over to Balachi. Balachi with the ball through the centre. That's nice to El Mali. But again, El Mali also decides to go backwards rather than taking on the shot. El Mali over to Balachi, who's high up the pitch. Balachi in front of him to Güler. Güler back to Balachi. Balaji is caught there, but no foul given, and the US win themselves a throw, which they take quickly here. So Gino Dest coming forward on this right-hand side. Dest fighting for it against Güler. Güler wins that battle. Turkey remain unchanged with just over 10 minutes on the clock. In fact, we are now right on the 80-minute mark. Yilmaz, who continues to play more in that right position at the moment, plays the ball through the centre to Güler. Güler knocks it off to Özkan. Back to Koksu. Koksu with the shots, but it doesn't really have either the power or the direction. Nice ball across from Özkan. Koksu will be disappointed with that shot. Turkey are now preparing a couple of changes for the final 10 minutes of the game. Freeman plays the ball to Robinson. It does appear that Freeman has gone into that right back position, and Dest will play in the more midfield role that was being occupied by Reina. Now here is McKennie. McKennie with a nice pass to Pulisic. Pulisic chests it down, plays the ball behind him towards Bahalta. Turkey do well there to recuperate possession and pass to El Mali. Still just a little bit penned back in their own half. Çakir over to Selik. Now to Aydin. Plays the ball forward to Güler. Just like to see a little bit more urgency. For the sake of a good narrative, a Turkish goal right now would be really quite marvellous. But they seem to have just dropped off a little bit in terms of the amount of energy that we see from this Turkish side. Here is Zendejas. Nice ball through to McKennie. McKennie towards the edge of the box. McKennie intercepted well there by Selik, and Selik manages to get a quick clearance going through. And now here is Yildiz released on the halfway line. Yildiz running quite quickly towards the ball. Yildiz plays the ball in towards Koksu. Koksu is intercepted off, but it comes out to Güler. Güler towards the edge of the box. Will he take a shot? He plays back to Özkan. Özkan to Yilmaz, but Özkan's pass is too far forward for Yilmaz, and he's disappointed with himself there, Özkan, for that pass. But now there's a chance for Turkey to put the cross in. It's headed away by Robinson. Will Güler be able to get on the end of it? Robinson able to clear this time round, and there is that little bit more fight from Turkey that we've seen for large parts of this game. They've started to wake up once again. This time they come through on the left hand side with Balaji. He plays in to Özkan. Now Güler, but Güler's pass is given straight away to Robinson. Robinson clears, tries to release Pulisic in the run, and it's coming together between him and Salih Özkan. Referee, I think, gives a foul there to Pulisic. Now Turkey will make those changes. The first one is the captain, Zeki Selik. He is one of two coming off. So is Yildiz, also off for the final time in this competition. They're replaced by Soyuncu, and I'll tell you the other one in just a second. In fact, it's a defensive change in the case of Soyuncu. Imagine he'll fit into that right back position. The other change, Can Yilmaz Uzan. And Uzun take the role of Yildiz in that left wing position. Throw from the US goes back to Alex Freeman. Been far more attempts on goal from the US. They've had 16 compared to Turkey's 8. But it still has felt like an even competition, and that's what the scoreline allows us to understand as well, with 5 minutes or so remaining of the 90, Turkey 2, USA 2, and it does continue in our corresponding game as well, or our adjacent game I should say. Paraguay 0, Australia 0, and here's another chance for Turkey to get through. Uzun plays back to Güler, now to El Mali to the substitute Uzun, into Güler. Uzun does well coming through here into the middle. That's nice play from the substitute. Now knocked forward on that right hand side to Özkan. Özkan tries to put him across. Trusty is there in front of him, and it ricochets off Trusty and out for a throw on the far side to the Turkish team. One more change now to be made for the US here. It's going to be Tillman who is on, and it is McKennie, one of the two remaining survivors from the Australia game. He makes his way off. Had a good game as well, the captain on for today's game. Turkey do now take their throne, and they win one immediately after. On the far side, 4 minutes remaining on the clock of our 90. Is there time for one further goal for either of these two teams? Could the Bayer Leverkusen man, Malik Tillman, make that difference for Pochettino's team? He is the man who's come on. Does show there is depth in this squad. Still not the starting lineups, but plenty of options. Lovely ball played over the top on the left-hand side, looking for Pulisic, but it's headed away by Çalhanoğlu. And now Sergio Dest will dribble the ball forward here. Zendejas now through into the centre, looking for Pepe. Cleared comfortably away by Çalhanoğlu. Not quite as far as he was hoping though on the clearance, as Pulisic fights for it on the edge of the box. Bounces out here to Tillman. Now back to Pulisic. Pulisic looks ready to wire up the shot, still going for into the box. There's an offside flag, I think, waved against Pulisic there though. Or it might just be a foul in the pro. No, it is, but Pulisic does remain offside. One further change now being made by Turkey in these last minutes of the game. Ozan Koksu makes his way off and behind the goal. Doesn't want to delay proceedings. It's Ayan who is coming on in his place. Kaan Ayan, another Galatasaray man. And here's Yilmaz. Yilmaz arriving here onto the edge of the box. Yilmaz fighting through. Yilmaz through here. And he couldn't find a way of making the shot with the US defence force around him. And Matt Turner able to get there down and get into the Z press to stop him getting through. Turkey once again trying to play the ball forward, but it's mistimed. Goes out for a goal kick with just 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Yilmaz trying his best to fight through against Austin Trusty, but the time he managed to get past Trusty, he was just too near to the goalkeeper. And now here is Pulisic, who's pushed down to the ground, and a little bit of a coming together there between Pulisic and Salih Özkan. Referee quickly in between the two to prevent the altercation proceeding into anything further. US will have the free kick. Zendejas passes on to the left-hand side. Now Pulisic back down that left-hand channel into looking towards Pepe in the centre. Doesn't manage to find him, but the US do get themselves a throw, although Trusty, who'd come forward there in the build-up, was caught and is on the ground for a moment in what looks like a little bit of pain. Looks like Trusty's evening may actually be over, and that will be very unfortunate for him. Ricardo Pepe indicates to the bench that a change may be needed, and that's what the referee indicates as well. Just have a look here. Trusty tries to put the ball in towards Pepe, and there's no foul there really. He's not caught, as we confirmed that there will be 6 minutes added on. I think he just lands a little bit heavily on it, and a bit of fatigue for the scorer of the first goal. But he's certainly down on the ground in a degree of pain, so this will probably add to those 66 minutes that we have on the clock of additional time. That will allow Turkey to make 2 further changes. One on his way off is Aydin. Running off just a little bit gingerly. Aydin, he was very strong, especially throughout the first half. Been very important across the pitch for Turkey this evening. And the other one is scorer of the second goal, Barış Yılmaz, also on his way off. For the final moments, and this will just as well allow a few players, in this case Kahveci and Mulder, just to be able to have a few moments on the pitch before Turkey's tournament is over. Kahveci making his first time on the grass in this competition for the 30-year-old. The Fenerbahce player Mulder, he did come on briefly against Australia, and now he comes on as well at the end of today's game. There's now a chance for Zendejas to try and put the ball through. Freeman tries to pick up, he slips there on the loose ball, and that gives the ball and the chance for Turkey to come forward here as they run from the back, and now passing across onto the left hand side looking for Güler. Güler manages to get hold of it, the Real Madrid man, up against Tillman. Gets the ball into the centre. Turkey looking to draw blood for one final time before the flight back from Los Angeles to Istanbul, pending soon, as Uzun cuts inside from the left hand side, then plays the pass over on that right hand side. Mulder has to play back. 3 minutes remaining on the clock here of the 7 which have been added on. Kabak plays the ball into Ayhan. Ayhan in the centre to Salih Özkan. Özkan goes backwards. Once again, Turkey come through onto this left-hand side to Uzun. Uzun just couldn't quite get hold of the pass as it came through, and it may well be now that we are settled in for an even finish, as Zdenkas there picks up a close range ricochet from El Male. Oh, in right into a particularly sensitive area, but he seems to be back up on his feet quickly. Alejandro Zendejas, born in Mexico, plays his football in Mexico, now proudly representing and on the pitch for the United States of America, making his first appearance this evening. Lovely ball played forward here. Looking now for Pepe. Pepe with the opportunity. Pepe tries to take the ball round. And he's offside. And that's unfortunate for Ricardo Pepe. That looked like a good opportunity for him to try and put this game to bed. Soyenko did well to get in his way. Just a couple of minutes now. Is this one last chance for Turkey to finish their competition in style? It's got to be, surely, everybody forward now. Mulder coming through on that right hand side with the cross. He's looking for Ozan. It's headed away. Ball goes back into Ozan, just on the left hand side, outside of the box. US trying to make sure, with Dent and Freeman combining together to make sure that Ozan doesn't have any space. Now El Mali back to Balaci. This has to be it now for Turkey to try and go home with style. Mulder dribbles forward, plays the ball to Güler in front of him. Ayhan with a shot from a fair way off. That's quite soft, and it's straight into the gloves of Matt Turner. That perhaps, although they need to shoot, that perhaps wasn't the moment to do it. And now, is there an opportunity one further time for the United States of America to get the perfect sweet spot of 9 points? Freeman plays to Sergino Dest, just in front of the dugout. Dest goes back to Freeman. Freeman plays through the middle, but it goes right out for a throw, and that'll go back to Turkey. Not the best distribution there from Freeman. And Mali with the throw. Turkey have time to get themselves forward one more time. They give the ball straight away back to Miles Robinson, who's able to clear to his keeper, Matt Turner. Turner plays the ball out on that left-hand side to Trusty. He plays long down that left-hand side, and it goes out for a throw. And we're seeing the ball being given away quite a lot in these last few minutes of the game as Mulder now comes through with the ball. Plays it to Güler. Güler fighting for it against Pulisic. Güler attempting to get round Pulisic. He almost managed it there, and then instead he ricochets the ball into Pulisic and out for a throw to the Turkish team. We've gone beyond the 7 minutes now of additional time. Turkey with a throw right by the corner flag. Is there one more opportunity for them as Güler breaks through in here towards the box, plays the ball back to Mulder. Mulder puts the ball towards the corner from off. Now with the ball chipped in. Özkan with the opportunity. Özkan with the ball. Turkey have done it! Right at the death of the game! It's Ayhan who's there! And he's won it for Turkey! What an absolutely incredible finish! Turkey will be going home, but they will be going home in some style. Kaan Ayhan was there. It's Güler and Mulder who linked up on the right-hand side. Ozan's ball went across the face of goal and through the legs of Matt Turner. And there was Kaan Ayhan. Managed to get on the end of it despite there being US bodies everywhere around him. And somehow, despite a tournament that looked to disappoint on so many levels, Turkey have rescued their pride. They came out tonight to play for the badge, and as the final whistle goes in California, what a result that was. Turkey will be going home. They'll be on the plane to Istanbul, but they will go home knowing that they did absolutely everything to go home full of pride. That is a fantastic way to exit a World Cup. They may have been the second team to be